Well, hello hyperspace, my name is Davontos and it's time to get hyped because in this video we're going to be talking about a certain kind of player in Overwatch. Maybe you know them, maybe you don't, maybe you are one of them. But these kind of players can be a really good thing or a really bad thing, and the Overwatch community calls them one-trick ponies. Let's get right into this. So what is a one-trick pony? These are the kind of players who only play one hero, or majority of the time just focus on playing one hero. Now let's use Winston for example, right? You have a friend who uses Winston, and only Winston. Sure, maybe he has like 10 minutes on a Roadhog, and maybe 2 hours on a Widowmaker, but when you look at his playtime, he has like, I don't know, 200 hours on Winston, and then second place is that Widowmaker who just has like an hour or two. That's a one-trick pony, and that can be very good or very bad depending on your team's setup. Now, as again, using Winston for example, Winston is a flanker. And this guy, because he has over 100 or 200 hours on Winston, this dude is a beast with Winston. Probably one of the best Winstons you're ever gonna find. The problem is, Roadhog is a hard counter to Winston, and so is D.Va. So is Bastion. And those three people can be on the enemy side. So if that Winston is a beast Winston and suddenly the enemies happen to have a Roadhog and or a D.Va and or a Bastion, Winston is screwed. It don't matter how good of a Winston player you are or how good of an Overwatch player you are, you will have a counter like me. I'm a really good D.Va, I call myself a pro D.Va, but no matter how good I am with D.Va, there is nothing I can do if I run into a main. It's the same thing with Genji if he runs into a Winston, and it's the same thing with Pharah if she runs into a Widowmaker, and it's the same thing with Winston if he runs into a Roadhog. So, the problem with this is, this guy is a beast Winston, right? You can always rely on him to pull off successful flanks, he's a great distraction for the enemies, helps you guys move forward, but then the enemies get out that Roadhog. And he just keeps killing Winston over and over and over, and the Winston player doesn't switch because, well, he doesn't really know how to control anyone else. And because of Winston, who keeps on dying from Roadhog, you basically have a teammate who's just basically being a punching bag for the enemy, so it kinda went to 5v6, if you actually look at it that way, and it can really hurt the team. Now, it can really be effective for the team, because let's say you guys need a flanker and the enemies don't have a hero to counter, then fine. Winston does his thing, Winston destroys everybody, and you guys win. But, going back to the way it hurts the team, if they have that counter, Winston is screwed. And even if Winston realizes that, Roadhog's a counter to Winston, time for me to switch, and he switches to, let's say, somebody who can beat Roadhog, like a Reaper, he doesn't really know how to control Reaper, because he never took the time to practice with him. And then you're gonna have a Reaper who's just basically playing like, a guy who just picked up Reaper for the very first time. He can't get any kills, he doesn't know what to do, and it really hurts the team. This is why when you play Overwatch, you wanna get the feeling of not everybody, at least a handful of heroes, and not in the same category. Don't only play tanks, don't only play support heroes like Mei and so on. You wanna get the feel for everybody. You wanna have a decent DPS that you can rely on, so you wanna get good with Soldier. You want to have a decent tank that you can function with, so you want to get good with D.Va and maybe Roadhog. Then you want to have a healer that you can do, because, yeah, all the healers focus on healing the teammate, but because of the way the levels are designed, some healers are more effective than others. When it comes down to capture points, like Elos, I think Lucio is more effective in those kind of maps than Mercy is. So, you want to pick up maybe a couple of healers for different playstyles, and you want to be as versatile as possible. You don't want to be a one-trick pony because, yeah, it's going to work in your favor, but at the same time, it's not if the enemies pull up a hard counter to your character. And it also works with team composition. Let's say, for example, you're a main, let's say you main Roadhog, right? A counter to Roadhog is Reaper. Reaper. Reaper counters Roadhog. So, what if your team is doing a dive comp, which is basically people who jump into the battlefield really quickly, Genji, Tracer, Lucio, and so on? You're stuck with Roadhog. So that basically means you ruined the entire team's plan to do this dive comp, because they're going to have to watch out for you because Roadhog's big, he's fat, he's slow, and he can't keep up with the competition. It can be with anybody. You can have a McCree right there. You can have a McCree's a main DPS, and you can only play McCree, but the problem is, if your team has a Soldier 76 and a Bastion who are more sustainable in the battlefield than McCree is, they're going to outplay you, and you're not going to really be a reliable teammate because, well, you're being outplayed by Soldier and Bastion. You see what I mean here? You always want to take and master, not master, but, get the hang of as many heroes as possible. If you have, let's say, 100 hours on Winston, I think it's time to stop and get on somebody else who's a completely different playstyle than Winston, like McCree. So, get on McCree, practice with McCree, get like 50 hours on McCree. And when you master both Winston and McCree, there you go. You got a good playstyle for some DPS, and you mastered your flanker, so it's time to get something else. Get on that Reinhardt and see if you can play defensively, protect your team. This way you can be very versatile, and no matter what the enemies throw at you, you will always have something to counter. And I say this because there's a couple of people I play with who are one-trick ponies. There's a guy who uses nobody but Genji, and which is good because Genji's a huge threat, but if the enemies get a Winston, Genji's screwed. And there's another person I play with who uses nobody but Diva. I main Diva, but I don't use nobody but Diva. And, this Diva's really effective, but if they get a Mei or Zarya, Diva's screwed. So you want to be as versatile as possible. If you like this video, punch that like button with a mighty force. You can follow me at Davontos Man on Twitter. Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Davontos Man. And as always, I'll see all of you in the next video. This one was short, huh? Have a nice day.